All right, just a couple of quick notes before we get started here this morning. First of all, do not bully or harass anybody mentioned in this live stream or this video, depending on where you're watching. Don't bully or harass anybody in the chat and the comments. Don't go to these people's channels and bully or harass them there. If I find out about it, if I see it, you will get the boot, okay? So let's not do that. Also, we're going to be talking about some allegations that haven't been proven in court. We're just going to be talking about my thoughts, feelings, and opinions, and I'm going to get those sources linked up in the YouTube description before we upload there. That's why we're just doing on Twitch this early, and then we'll get it uploaded onto YouTube hopefully by noon. So be looking for the premiere at noon Central Time. I am not an expert. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a legal expert. I'm none of those things. I'm just a weird nerd with an opinion. And as such, thoughts, feelings, and opinions expressed on this channel are solely my own thoughts, feelings, and opinions. All right. So with that out of the way, good morning, lovely people of the internet. 'Tis I, Ophelia. I'm missing my one lamp. I might have to go get it here in a little bit. I actually did not look into the camera viewfinder until this very moment. So it was a little bit awkward for me this morning, but I did get dressed up. Did you see my sparklies? Good morning, Porgnatius. I hope everybody is doing well this morning. I'm going to give people a couple of minutes just to kind of filter in from YouTube if people are watching over there. I do have just a stream up with a link to come over here. And I do have mostly my outline done for this morning. I ended up with like 15 pages, so it's maybe not like the most well edited outline. But we are gonna like pull down this little the thumbtack over here for Katie Joy. That's what this whole stream is gonna be today, is just about Katie Joy. Katie Joy Paulson without a crystal ball. So I should go over some quick updates from last week. After I posted that I would be doing a video about Steve himself, Steve McRae, went and commented on my video about Kyle from the week earlier. I was going to pull that up. You can go look for it, though. It's still up. But he basically said, oh, well, he hadn't responded to his Twitter messages because he was too busy. It's been over a week. He still hasn't responded to his Twitter messages since then. He hasn't responded. He did like respond to my comment. And then I said, hey, well, feel free to like give me your feedback on my video about you. And still no word. So yeah, buckle in and get ready and get your sippy cups. I think I am going to grab that lamp though, just because my it's kind of overcast today. So it's kind of dim in here. But give me 1 second and I will be right back with that. I think I have like a screen where it'll make it a little less boring. All right, be right back. All right, I'm back. Hopefully that's better. I try to film after the sun rises so that I am so that I have natural light, but it doesn't always work out for me. That is okay. Yeah. So I still haven't heard any response from Steve after that like little exchange in the video comments about Kyle. Like I said, you can go back in and check it out. I meant to put a like a copy of it, like take a screenshot and pull it up here, but I'm not sure what he's afraid of. I keep getting him like trying to give him an opportunity to say his piece, and he just keeps responding with basically, well, you should hear my side. And then I'm like, okay, what's your side? And then it's just silence. So, Steve, if you're watching this, please feel free to offer your criticism. I am 100% welcome to hearing you out. That doesn't mean that I'm going to believe you on face value, but I am absolutely welcome to, I'm willing to hear you out. Same goes for everyone that I cover on this channel. For the most part, I don't cover people if I don't like have a little hint of like kind of liking them as a person. And sometimes it's a little bit of like a guilty pleasure, like with Amber Lynn and stuff. It's like, I like, obviously there are things about her personality and things about her as a person that I don't like, that I think are quite problematic. But the reason why I cover her is because like, I kind of like her as a person. Chantal, I don't really like her, and therefore I don't cover her. So, you know, like, if you see yourself covered on this channel, please know my DMs are open to you. I am definitely willing to hear your side of things. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about Katie Joy Paulson. I'm probably going to be going back and forth between calling her Katie, Katie Joy, KJ, and Without a Crystal Ball. That's the name of her channel. Just know that like those are all the same person. Here, I've got a visual reminder. Don't step into Chantal. I can see that. Let me close off the chatter for now. I guess I could just move it up so it's out of the way, but I'll bring it back up in a little bit, okay? And then you guys can say hi to YouTube and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be going over quite a few names, but I just wanted to like get that out of the way because I just don't want you guys to get lost in the names. So Katie Joy was born on the 19th of November, 1978. That makes her 42 years old and a Scorpio. Key traits to keep in mind for a Scorpio that may or may not be relevant later. Scorpios can sometimes have a lack of fear, and they may take risks that others would never consider. Scorpios are also fiercely loyal and will not tend to change sides very often. They're the kind of people who are going to like die on that hill or go down with that ship, you know, like Dido. I will go down. Never mind. I'm not going to sing. Not going to sing this morning. It's too early. But Scorpios are also, they're also usually quite focused, kind of the opposite of me, and they're competitive and very ambitious. So they kind of go after like whatever they want without really any sort of concern for like what they consider to be like NPCs, basically. So KJ was originally a blogger who actually, Pugnacious says, don't get that stuck in my head. Sorry. It's a good one though. I actually ended up with that song stuck in my head the other day. Probably when I started writing this outline, now that I'm thinking about it. So, she was originally a blogger and like did actual like written blogging and not videos. And the original topic that she usually talked about had to do with her son and his disabilities. So she blogged about living with somebody that has disabilities, being a caretaker, and just her son's disability in general. After a while, she started writing articles for a website known as Patheos. Now, this is one place where I feel like I need to make a little bit of a clarification because I've seen in several places where this website gets referred to as a Christian website, and it's not a Christian website. They consider themselves to be a faith-based website. And actually, I first heard about this website when someone was trying to give me resources on, I don't remember if it was like crystal meditation or essential oils or something like that in like the metaphysical type realm. And I was actually surprised when I first heard somebody referring to it on an atheist channel, but actually they have like loads of different topics. Some are more Christian. Some are just like general faith-based. Some of them are non-religious. Some of them are atheist-based. And the section that Katie Joy worked in, I think, was the non-religious section. They, like I said, they also have an atheist section, and I know that Hemant Mehta still writes for them in the atheist section, and I know that Katie Joy has said that they're friends, but I can't find any of Katie Joy's articles. If you know the specific topics that you are searching for that Katie Joy has written about, you can search for those, and it will actually bring up the titles in the archives, but whenever you click on them, it brings up a 404 error page. So, I can't really say with any certainty what section, like whether it was the non-religious section or the atheist section, but it's not really important. It was just that I just wanted to note that it is not necessarily a Christian website. It's just a faith-based website. Now, at some point she gained a little bit of recognition for her work on that website in relation to exposing Jillian Epperly and her Jilly Juice protocol. That name might be familiar with some people. I don't have really time to go into the whole like Jilly Juice, fermented cabbage, snake oil crap today, but if you haven't heard about it, or if you want me to do a video about it, let me know down in the comments. Is there like a juice box emoji or something that you can like, ooh, is there a cabbage leaf? I think there's a cabbage leaf, right? I don't know. The chat's I'm probably on a delay. Sorry. But yeah, cabbage leaf, some type of juice emoji. Let me know in the comments. Apparently, this Jilly Juice protocol will regrow limbs and cure the gay. So that might be a fun rabbit hole to dive into for you guys if you're interested. I would love to learn more, but I don't think it's going to cure my gay. Also, I don't think I'm actually willing to try it because I think like people have actually like died and like gotten hospitalized and stuff like while trying to follow this wild Jilly Juice protocol. I'm not going to actually try it for you, but I will like dig up information on it if you guys want me to. But yeah, Katie Joy started to gain some recognition on her research for that, because basically she supposedly had all these inside sources and all this information that wasn't readily available. I think even then I remember her hearing like, nobody else is saying this and nobody else has this. And she started doing interviews on a couple of different YouTube channels. She was then introduced to Kyle Curtis, who we've talked about before. If you haven't seen that one, go back and watch part 1. But at that time, he was starting the Non Sequitur Show. They were just first getting it up and going. Kyle then asked her if she would be interested in doing a regular segment on the Non Sequitur Show, and they started doing a weekly show. Now, Jillian did actually end up backing out of the interview with Kyle Curtis. I think maybe because she found out that Kyle was like an openly gay man. I don't know. I did hear like some rumors that was what it had to do with, but I didn't find anything that was like actually backing that up. So Kyle asked her if she would be interested in doing a regular segment on the Non Sequitur Show, just kind of about like metaphysical stuff, like debunking these types of things. I don't know if they were talking about flat earth and that sort of stuff at that point in time, but I think it was mostly just like these kinds of things. I think there was like close to 20 episodes. I know that it was like over a dozen episodes, and they just did a regular thing actually until Steve got kicked out of the Non Sequitur Show. Like we said, he got locked out of all the passwords and everything. And as we talked about before, she was kind of on Kyle's side with this. She has made a statement since then saying that Kyle lied to her, and that's why she was on his side. I do have a tendency to kind of believe that, but I don't know. To me, it seems like, why wouldn't you like consult the other people who are working on the show? But the reason for that, we might be talking about in a little bit. I can see maybe why she would feel uncomfortable. Like by the time that I like finished his outline, I was like, oh yeah, now that I think about that and put it, I just sometimes my brain. Around this time, she started posting on her own channel, which she called Without a Crystal Ball. And this was where she would supposedly glean all of this information without the use of a crystal ball, hence the name. So besides Jilly Juice, at this point in time, she was mostly just talking about like the Duggars, Teen Mom. There was like the full slew of like reality TV and stuff, but she supposedly had all of these like inside sources. And she would post there like 3 to 4 times a day with updates and revisions. And they all kind of like have a feel of being like a live stream, even if it wasn't necessarily a live stream, but it was just like very off the cuff and by the minute kind of what she found out. Kind of like the people who are watching on YouTube. Who are watching this. Hi, YouTube. Yeah. So at this point, she did seem like she wasn't necessarily putting a whole lot of care into her sources and making sure that they were all vetted. Now, let's see. I thought I had pictures. No, okay. Sorry, I forgot to import those. But it didn't seem like she was taking a whole lot of care in all the sources that she vetted. I don't know what her particular sources were for this information on Jelly Juice. So I'm just like going to go ahead and actually I'm going to switch out the thumbtacks. So we're going to pull down the purple thumbtack, right? That's just like without a crystal ball. That's what we're talking about, right? But what we're tacking up in its place is like vetting sources. We'll go from the top. Put some vetting sources, okay? Under this tack, we're going to stick up vetting our sources. That means like making sure that their information is correct and like seeing if you can have like something else like confirming that information. And that's what like when I did research on Kyle and Steve, like I said, there was stuff that like it was just like wild stories that people were telling me. And a lot of them was like, I believe you. From the way that you are telling me this information, I believe you, but there's like absolutely no way I have of confirming this information. So I can't like give that info to my audience. You know what I mean? So anyway, I promise we're going to get back to it. I did write this outline with like that we're pulling down all these tacks at the end. Okay. I promise. You're not going to have to like wait a couple weeks or anything. Okay. Get it done today. Now, at the time that she was working with the Non Sequitur Show and doing these regular segments, this is what I think might have led to her like not being feeling comfortable talking to the other people and asking questions, because an incident occurred where Katie Joy claims that Steve made sexually suggestive comments towards her in a pre-show interview room, basically like a Zoom call before the live show, or I'm not sure if it was a recorded show or a live show. But anyway, it was in like the pre-show, so it wasn't actually the recorded segment. Steve does not deny the claims that it actually took place, but he is denying Katie Joy's claim that it was sexual harassment. In several different instances, he has claimed that she accused him of sexual assault. But my understanding is that it's always just been that she has accused him of sexual harassment, which what he has claimed has taken place would qualify as sexual harassment. So I'm not sure where, like, but, yeah. And by his own utterances, it seems to be confirmed that this indeed did take place. Yeah. So the two are now battling a defamation of character lawsuit in court. I kind of tried looking up some of the details on it, but it hurt my brain. Basically, like he's suing her for saying that he sexually harassed her, but he is kind of confirming that he did. I really don't know, and I'm just gonna put like a confusion question mark and just like stick a pin in like lawsuits and move on. Okay. Now I do want to be clear before I move on here that I do believe Katie Joy to be an incredibly problematic person. If that was not clear already, incredibly problematic person. Okay. But that's doesn't mean that there's no truth to the things that she was saying in a lot of these cases. And many of the people that we will be discussing that Katie Joy called out are indeed also very problematic people. But as the old saying goes, two wrongs don't make a right. I just wanted to make a note of that before I get comments for like defending this side or the other. Like, no, just stop it. Like everybody needs to get some help. Okay? Like, just everybody needs some help. I'm just giving you the information that I have. So the first time that I heard about Katie Joy myself was probably in a reaction. Well, I might have heard about her on the Non Sequitur Show first, but I think the first time I heard about her Without a Crystal Ball channel was in relation to the Dad Challenge podcast, whom I did a video on back in 2020. At the time, the two of them were having a bit of a back and forth about the whole Micah Stoffer situation, and I would love to rail on about the whole Micah Stoffer situation for like a couple of hours, but I don't have time to like get into all of that today. So I'm just gonna like try and give you a quick rundown. Now, people have asked me a couple of times to do updates about the video that I had done previously about the Dad Challenge podcast. And like at the time that I did the video, I was just saying that I was no longer supporting him. And my update on that is that he doesn't seem like he's getting better since then. So I still am not updating him. I'm still not supporting him. That's my update. So, but a quick rundown on the Micah Stoffer situation, Micah and James Stoffer situation. To sum it all up as short as possible, Micah and her husband, James, were family vloggers who adopted a disabled son from China. They knew that the son was disabled at the time that they adopted him, but they did not know the nature of his disability, which ended up being that he was autistic and mostly nonverbal. He was said to be learning American Sign Language, but sections of the family vlog showed Micah grasping and holding the 3-year-old's hand when he was repeatedly signing for food, as well as a segment where the child was confirmed to have his hand covered in duct tape to restrict access to suck his thumb, as well as other seemingly abusive parenting methods while he lived there. Side tangent. I talked about this in my other video, but if you're not familiar with anybody who uses sign language as their primary form of language, the like thought and concept of like holding a child's hands and like putting tape on his hands is basically the equivalent to put like a mother putting her hand over a child's mouth or putting like duct tape over a child's mouth. Like that's literally like that's the equivalent for a child who signs. That's what she was doing. So it like when I see it, it just turns my stomach. It makes me really mad. But yeah. Just yeah. So you might have noticed before that little side tangent that I said while he lived there. Maybe you forgot it with the tangent, but anyway, I said lived there because these particular parents actually ended up returning their adopted son because they weren't able to deal with that type of disability, like the type that doesn't look cute or take directions on camera. That kind. Yeah. So yeah, they're definitely on my list of assholes, but to be fair, that kid is probably better off without them in his life. So trust me when I tell you that is the condensed version because we just need to move on right now, okay? So Katie Joy was reporting on them and seemed to be raking in the views. And what seemed to be getting the people coming back to her channel all the time was that she was posting like 3 to 4 times a day and supposedly had these inside sources. So for Micah and James, I believe it was a former neighbor of theirs that she claimed to be talking with and gave us supposedly this inside information. But again, it wasn't really anything that could be confirmed. And she was, like I said, just posting 3 or 4 times a day, just like, if she was posting that often, like how much time was she really spending vetting her sources? I'm just saying. Poor Ignatius had to tap out for a minute. That's okay. That's okay. You're fine. So yeah, they had this inside source that was the neighbors. I don't know how much time she spent vetting the source. We didn't really get any like confirmable information on the source. Where was it that they lived or anything like that? But yeah, that was, I'm just going to like leave it at that and move on. Also, for the sake of brevity, I'm going to be skipping over the whole thing with Lily Jean because Lily Jean's a minor, and I don't really care if a literal child wants to pretend that she has a lipstick line. And I don't have time to get into all of it, but yes, I do realize that her mom is kind of behind some of it. If you want me to do like a quick segment sometime on her mom in another video, maybe like drop a lipstick emoji or something in the chat, I can do maybe like a stream about momagers or something and do her in a segment. Also, for the sake of brevity, and for the sake of protecting potential victims' privacy, I'm not going to be going into the information about Katie Joy accusing a potential underage victim of abuse, of lying, and just being quote unquote bratty. But just know that that happened. And these two situations with Lily Jean and the other minor were ones that were called out by Shannon from Creepshow Art. That's how those tie in together, right? If you're not familiar with Creepshow Art, that's a whole thing in and of itself. I originally put in my notes, drop a paintbrush or paint palette emoji if you want me to talk about that. Now that I'm thinking about it, just do like a zombie emoji if you want me to talk about Creepshow Art. Any of those. I will understand what you're asking, okay? So Creepshow Art is a commentary channel, if you're not familiar. But around this time, she was venturing more into just like calling out problematic YouTubers, not necessarily art commentary, which is kind of what she started out as. It's kind of ironic if you know how that whole channel ended. But yeah, she did this video style where she basically used a voiceover and never really showed her face online on the stream. It was either like game footage or art videos at the backdrop. And then she would like post tweets and stuff on screen. It was the kind of thing that was like considered very listenable. And I think that's really how she started to gain popularity. And it was the kind of thing that was just like, you know, enjoyable to listen to. You could just have it on in the background while you were doing stuff and that sort of thing. Now, at some point, Creepshow Art does a video on Katie Joy's handling of these situations and basically calls her out on like the shitty way that she was handling the situations. She basically, yeah, she's just exposing those things. And they have this like sort of back and forth. Katie Joy threatens to sue Creepshow and sends her a mediation email, to which Creepshow makes another video basically putting the email on blast. Poor Ignatius did a skull, so closest I got to a zombie. Perfect. So yeah, there's back and forth. Katie Joy is like, hey, let's, deal with this offline. Creepshow is like, hey, I'm going to like put this on blast in my video and talk about it online. And then Katie Joy goes kind of below the belt, actually more than kind of below the belt, way below the belt. And in Dragnaut's Discord server, she decided to post a picture of Creepshow. Remember, like, this is a person who doesn't show their face on screen, along with her legal name and the caption, "Whoops, sorry." Which to me, it was like the caption at the end that like was like, okay, that just like, to me, it was like the icing on the cake. I don't know how to explain it, but it was like, if you would have just like posted that, it would have been one that, I mean, I feel like it's the same thing, but it's just like, damn, like, whoops, sorry. So like, to me, it just like shows intent. I don't know. But if you're not familiar with what this is something that is known as doxing, and it can actually put somebody in real danger. Especially if it's like somebody who calls out other shitty people, like in their online media, right? Like Creepshow does. So luckily one of the mods was able to take it down right away, and it didn't really get out there much. But again, it goes to show the content of Katie Joy's character, in my opinion. If you're not familiar, the goal of doxing is to give the audience basically enough information that they're hoping that like one crazy person will like take it and run with it and find your home address, send the SWAT team, all of these things that can really be potentially dangerous and potentially deadly. We're gonna go ahead and just like stick up a pen for let's say releasing personal information. It's gonna be. I'm not gonna like say doxing in general, but like releasing personal information, right? So, I want to briefly mention, okay, the situation where she lied about Shane Dawson. Again, not defending any of these people. Um, Shane Dawson, I'm not defending the content of his character. But in this particular instance, Katie Joy had claimed that Shane was under investigation by the LAPD. She was one of two sources that were reporting it at this time. And this one is going to get stuck up here under sketchy sources and not vetting your sources, because she claimed that one of her sources was supposedly the sergeant who was leading the investigation. But the name that she gave for the sergeant that was leading the investigation, a quick Google search would turn up that this sergeant was actually had been retired from the LAPD for some time. So he was actually not working for the LAPD at all. So is she just pulling the shit out of her ass? Like where did she get this source? Like, did somebody tell her that this was the sergeant? Or did she just literally like, oh yeah, it's that sergeant? Like, did she like look up a news article and be like, oh yeah, Sergeant whatever who's in this news article? I'm not even going to say the name of the sergeant. You can find it, but it's like, he had nothing to do with the case, so it doesn't matter. In a similar vein, as far as sharing things publicly that people didn't want to be available to the public, Katie Joy quite recently has been involved in a controversy for sharing somebody's Patreon videos, which were meant to be private videos for their Patreons only, on a public forum. Not going to go into that very much because I don't want people like looking for these private videos, but yeah, that happened. And then later on, she came back and said, oh, I found those on an unlisted YouTube video. And like, what does it matter? Like, it was an unlisted video that somebody gave you the link to. Like, you weren't supposed to have it. Nobody sent you. Like, she didn't send you that link. So why are you looking at it? Like, why are you saving it? I'm looking at comments here really quick. Does it count as not vetting your sources when you just make shit up? Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is, really. They're not vetted sources. If you were watching the LuLaRoe documentary and lost track of time, I totally understand. Hi, Cellular Level. Hi, welcome. It'll be up for replay on YouTube. No worries. No worries. So yeah, she just, likes giving out people's personal information. She's a piece of work. Piece of work. So yeah, another disagreement that I want to mention before we get like the big one is a disagreement with the YouTuber BX Beast Boy. From what I understand, they had a little bit of a back and forth. I think it was on Twitter. Don't quote me on that. I think it was in a written form though. And someone suggested, hey, let's get on a call and actually talk about this and have a discussion about it. And so they did, and they had an interview, and BX Beast Boy recorded it, and he edited and shared that recording. And quick little side tangent here. Anytime that you agree to have an online conversation with somebody, like if you don't want it recorded, is a pretty good practice to tell them that you don't want it recorded. Like, in fact, in my opinion, you should just assume that it's recorded unless you're being told otherwise. For instance, when I talk to MathBig about stuff, like I ask him his opinions and we chat about stuff, I will straight up tell him, like, I'm not recording this, so please feel free to speak freely. But like, even among friends, I always assume when I'm having an online conversation, especially with somebody who's an online creator, who's a video creator, that it's going to be recorded. So I feel like most people are that way. Like, anyway, it's beside the point, because it would in fact seem that she gave permission to use this recording, considering the fact that she promoted the video on her channel initially after he posted it. She was telling people to go and watch it until she realized that it maybe cast her in a bad light. And then she threatened to sue him. Now, he was nice and he took the video down, but like he had every right to use that video, even according to like all the information from both of them. So I just think it's bullshit. I don't know. As far as I know, it's still down. I haven't been able to find it. If you can find it, let me know. Yeah, she agreed to an interview. Like she agreed to having it recorded and she just like got cold feet about it afterwards, I guess. Or what's that like? It's like cold feet or but like after. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the big one that I think that everybody's heard about, and that is the issue with Tati Westbrook, of Halo Beauty. Now, again, I feel like there's a couple things that we need to clear up, because again, there's some misunderstandings as to the nature of the lawsuit. This has nothing to do with like the James Charles, all of that shit and stuff that like Tati has going on with James Charles. Okay, that is all kind of separate. But Katie Joy decided to kind of report on that. And then again, we go back to vetting our sources. I think it actually goes back to like vetting the sources, like doxing people's personal information and like just all of it. Because basically she didn't feel like it was enough of a story on its own, apparently. And she started reporting on this information and digging up information in Katie Joy's past. And she talked about, oh, I spent hundreds of dollars doing a background search on Katie's or on Tati's husband and Tati's parents and this, that, and the other. Spending a lot of money, spending a lot of time, spending a lot of resources looking back into these people's personal or public records, but also like not information that's like they want to be publicly available. Now for Tati, that's fine. Tati's a public figure. Okay, whatever. Go look into her personal records. Do it. But when you start looking into her husband and her parents, like that's when it really starts crossing the line. And it's not really fair game at that point, right? Now, not only did she start looking into them, but then she started reporting things. Like, for instance, Katie Joy accused Tati's dad of being in the mafia, right? Then it gets worse. Then Katie Joy accuses Tati's husband of giving his mother, getting her to sign over her house to Tati's husband before he signs the papers to like turn off her oxygen. Basically like stealing from her and killing her. None of this has any like, again, this is all out of Katie Joy's ass as far as I know. This is not true. There's no evidence to back this up. Here's the thing with Tati Halo Beauty Ron Swanson thing. Swanson says he didn't give Katie Joy any information. Katie Joy says that he did. Yeah, we don't like this information. There's no evidence for it anywhere. Unless she has evidence that hasn't been released, I'm shocked Tati believes her. Yeah, she's just pulling it out of her butt. This is the only thing that I can think of. This is the only thing that I can think of. James, who pulled the plug on his mother the same way one does on a vacuum cleaner. Yeah, that's basically what she was saying, was that like, oh yeah, he just like killed his mother. Like, come on. You're going to accuse people of that? Get real. She missed her calling of being a fiction writer. Ugh, you guys are right. Here, I'm going to put you guys up on screen. I'm just going to hide this for now, so I won't cover too much. But yeah, so again, Tati has all this stuff coming at her from Katie Joy about like, oh, your dad's in the mafia. Your husband killed his mother. Like all of this crazy shit. And what does Tati do? Well, she starts by sending a cease and desist. Actually, according to Katie Joy, she sent her 4 cease and desist. 4, according to Katie Joy. She's like, yeah, I got 4 of them. She just keeps sending them. Like, at what point do you like stop? You know? So at one point, she even told her audience that she knew all these kinds of things about like Westbrook's having shady business dealings. And basically she like said, like, I dare her to sue me because supposedly what would come out in discovery would support Katie Joy's claims. If you want to see an in-depth breakdown of this, check out Emily D. Baker. She did a whole series of videos on it. She breaks down all the legal jargon. But Katie Joy, like I said, dared Tati to sue her for defamation of character. So she did. She did it. They ended up in court together. Around this time, she ended up actually getting fired and removed from Patheos. That's why I can't find any of her stuff now. Yes. Okay, go ahead and sue me. Okay, hon, here you go. Exactly. And surprised Pikachu face when Patheos fired her and said, hey, this kind of stuff is not the stuff that we want on our website. Unix22B, thank you for the follow. So yeah, her defense apparently was just that she didn't vet her sources. She's like, oh, I was getting this information from their business partner and he was feeding me incorrect information. But as Trail of Debris pointed out earlier, the business partner says that he never said these things. So is he lying? Is she lying? Who's lying? Anyway, it ended up actually getting settled out of court when Katie Joy made a scripted video where she took back everything that she said about Tati's dad and husband. And then she basically just said, oh yeah, like my sources were shit. It's the American way. Sue me, surprise bitch. Yep, exactly. Sue me? Okay, hold my beer. Yeah. So we do have one last court case to get to. And I know that like there's probably something that I'm missing because like there's just so much that there's probably something that I'm missing. Let me know in the comments if you guys know about stuff that I didn't even briefly mention. But that last court case is the case of Todd Chrisley. KJ keeps pulling stuff out of her ass and says my sources are shit. Does that then conclude that she is, in fact, shit? I mean, pretty much, right? So Todd Chrisley is currently suing Katie Joy also for defamation of character. This is relating to some comments that she made about his business and his estranged daughter. And this is all like still in court and stuff. And like, I don't know the details of it. And you should like go watch a lawyer like Emily D. Baker to hear about all of that because I'm not a lawyer. But yeah, Todd indicated in tweets that he has at least 3 other people who may be joining like a class action lawsuit against her, but that's not been seen to be confirmed. Thus far, the only other people that we know about suing Katie Joy right now is our lovely pal, Steve McRae. Do I have the picture? I can add the picture. It'll only take me a second. Steve. Our pal Steve. Over here. He's also suing Katie Joy for defamation of character after she said, like we talked about, that he sexually assaulted her, which again, I don't doubt, just according to his own utterances. That's fine, Unix. I appreciate the follow. And yeah, it will be up on YouTube. And I should get the whole everything up by noon Central Time. So thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the follow. I'm almost done here today. Like I said, this is all I know as far as like what's going on lately is just the Todd Chrisley and the Steve McRae thing. Usually in a defamation suit, I think it requires you to be like receiving damages. So I don't know what like Steve feels like that was done to where he would be receiving damages. I feel like he's really, if we're talking about like who has damaged his reputation, I feel like it's mostly him. So I don't know what damages it is that he's going to be suing for. Because usually that's like a lawsuit means that you've incurred damages, right? But okay. I think the 3 lessons that we learned today are these 3 things that we have tacked up on our sidewall. The first is, you guys know, it's vetting sources, okay? Vet your sources. Don't just pull stuff out of your butt, right? Like if you, there were stories that I heard about Steve that had to do with him like picking up used condoms from his like ex-girlfriend while like after she had sex in the bedroom and he was like sleeping on the couch listening to her like boning like a series of other right? Like but I don't have like confirmation for that. So I can't be like, "Oh my gosh, you guys, this thing that I heard is fact." Like I don't know that for a fact. It was a crazy wild story and I was like taking notes and like hoping that I could find information to like back this up, but I couldn't. So like I can't like report that. You know what I mean? You got to vet your sources. You got to vet your sources. Also, secondly, you guys touched on it a lot in the chat. Don't threaten people with a lawsuit unless you have the goods to back it up. If you want to threaten people to sue you, don't be surprised when they serve you papers and file a lawsuit against you. Because that's what happens. That's what happens. And when you don't vet your sources and you say shit without fucking confirming it, that's when you end up in a lawsuit. Okay? The other way that you end up in a lawsuit is this last one here. We're not going to release people's personal information if they aren't public figures. If somebody wants to keep something personal and it's not hurting anybody, you just let them keep it to themselves. You don't put it in the public eye. Got to respect that, people. Got to respect that. Yes, I am wearing a sparkly shirt. I actually just got the sparkly shirt for you guys. Because I don't leave the house, but like, I wanted sparkles. My wife was like, you would not wear a shirt that is just like 100% covered in sparkles. And I was like, hold my beer. Because I definitely will. Definitely will. All right, that's all I've got for you guys today. There's a song about respect. Yes. Yes. RESPECT. Sorry, I'm not going to sing for you guys. I told you I wasn't going to sing for you guys. I mean, like, for you guys, I'm not going to sing. Like, because it's early. Yeah, it's super tiny, tiny sparkles. Like, it's hard to show on camera, but it's like pinpoint little bitty sparkles. And they're hollow. So it does like this, like, linear hollow thing that, like, reminds me of, like, Hollow Taco. Maybe next time I'll like paint my nails. I'll get out some Hollow Taco. We appreciate the commitment to the sparkle motion. Hey, I love sparkles. I really do. I really like when I learned about like how harmful like glitter can be to the environment. Like I actually like kind of went through a depression and I was like, but I love everything sparkly. And so since then I've learned to like appreciate stuff where it has like sparkles that are like attached to it so that it's not like sloughing off into the environment. It's not getting into our seas and it's not harming our wildlife and stuff. So that's why I've learned to like embrace things like this. Yes, it is hollow. It is hollow. Ooh. Wifey just got a rose sparkle. We got from Holo Taco, there's a 2-pack that she named after her 2 cats, Zyler and Menchie. And I got the Zyler one, which is the orange one, because I love orange and brown. And Wifey got the Menchie one, which is like kind of a sparkly rose. It is so sparkly. It's so sparkly. There is biodegradable sparkle. It is less sparkly, but yes, there is biodegradable sparkle. And I'm hoping that like the technology on that is going to get like better and better to where eventually we do have like super sparkly biodegradable sparkle. Yeah. Yeah. Nowadays, if I like buy any loose glitter, it's got to be biodegradable. Yeah. Seaweed does sound familiar, Trail of Debris. I'm not sure on that one, but that like when you said that, it does ring a bell. It does ring a bell. Ooh, for Pride. I was like, I got ready this year for Pride. I was like, okay, we missed Pride one year. We're going to be ready for Pride this year. And I like ordered stuff ahead of time. And yeah, I got canceled again. Sad. But I have stuff ready for next year, right? So hopefully like my face paints and stuff will last. Because yes, absolutely. I agree. Trail of Debris, sparkle and glitter is the herpes of crafting. But you know what? Like, I don't mind it. There was something I was doing the other day and I like realized that I had like glitter on my face from I had like touched a thing that had glitter on it. Ooh, you were the arts and crafts counselor at all girls camp, glitter everywhere. I believe it. Even at our horse camp, like when we had arts and crafts, like I mean, like it would end up everywhere, like in the barns and stuff. Like not just in the arts and crafts area. This would be a good Christmas top. I don't know. I feel like glitter for all holidays. Glitter for all the holidays for me. Oh, you found specks of it everywhere after. Oh, was it one of those where it's like they added on with like glue? That's true. It does happen. It does happen. These are more like tiny sequins, but they're like the size of glitter, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, well, yeah, exactly. Are you really a zombie for Halloween without glitter blood? I feel like Halloween is a very good opportunity to use the glitter for pretty much anything, even if it's completely unrealistic, like you were saying for blood and stuff. Um, I really dislike the taste of fake blood. So if anybody knows where to like find good fake blood that's not peppermint flavored, I think that's the thing that I really, really dislike about it is that they're almost always peppermint flavored. And I just, if it was even like spearmint or like some other, just not peppermint. Ooh, a Heinz bottle. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that would get like messy by the end of the night. I do have some glitter glues. Where I live, they're actually a little bit kind of expensive. Thank you, Jax. Thank you for the follow. Jax1208. Welcome. We are just kind of chatting. After I went through my 15-page outline and I just like busted it out. So I've got another kind of like 6 minutes here that we can chat. I'll pull this guy up at the bottom. Thank you so much for the follows, you guys. You guys used to draw temporary tattoos with the glitter glue. Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome. Especially for like a Popeye costume kind of thing. You could do the little Did you reveal mystery participant number 4? Explain. I don't understand. Mystery participant number 4. Oh, I don't know who. Are you asking about you know who that followed? Red gel food coloring, cocoa powder cornstarch, flavor of choice with corn syrup. Still kind of gross. Yeah, it probably still has like the same sticky issues with the. Not that like fake blood doesn't get sticky, but it's like kind of easy to clean off usually. Oh, yes, there are going to be 4 videos. I'm going to be doing another video for Non Sequitur Show. I think actually what I'm going to be doing is just kind of cleaning up all of the little bits and pieces and explaining how different participants kind of tie in and where they fell off and where they came in. So it's actually part 4 is not, unless we do another person. There's another person that maybe almost deserves their own video. So either next week it will be that person or it will be a tie-in together. Now, if there is a 4th person that I end up doing the video on, I still feel like I will need to do a 5th video, just kind of summing everything up because there are, like I said, just little things where it's like I could explain in 2 sentences, and then just move on to the next person. But yes. I hope that clears it up. But yeah, if you come back next week, I'm going to have another video, a Non Sequitur Show, and all those guys. Now, whether it's one person or multiple people, it depends on like how much of a headache that I'm willing to have this week, actually. Because I know enough of the information is out there, but it's like I said about like vetting sources and like making sure that I have like stuff to back that up, because a lot of it is just like stories and I have to find confirmation of all that. So yeah, it's just a lot of legwork, confirming things, getting a second source on things, that sort of thing. I may have woken the Kraken today. Oh, I hope not. Maybe. But yeah, if you are involved with any of these people that I've talked about today and you have your own thoughts and feelings and opinions and you've got something that I missed, please feel free to jump down in the comments and let me know what I missed. As long as we are pleasant and nice to everybody, we can absolutely have discourse in the comments. But just no harassing people, no name calling, no just like don't bully and harass people, right? Like, general rules of discourse. So watch KJ appear. Hey, I'm welcome to it. And if she wants to send me a DM or an email, opheliahartwig@gmail.com, go for it. But yeah. All right, guys. I think since we're just on Twitch this morning, why not like we go on a raid? You guys want to go on a raid? A good old fashioned Twitch raid? It's been a while since we did one of those. Ooh. Oh. No. That's just new videos. Okay. Who is crafting right now? I want to see who's crafting. Sorry, I can't see the chat all of a sudden. I should ask you guys, crafting or Among Us? I feel like those are like my 2 favorite ones to just sit and stare at. Oh, wait, there's an art section now? I did not realize that there was an art section. Maybe I'm just like behind the time. Notice to preserve evidence incoming. I love it, Trail of Debris. Send it to me. I will preserve everything. What does Emily D. Baker call that? A notice to not delete your shit? Don't delete your shit. Yes, Katie Joy, if you didn't know, she did send basically a notice to not delete your shit to a lot of people that were involved in the whole Steve McRae thing. Negative exponents. Thank you for the follow. Do you guys have any suggestions on who to go raid? How you what? Unfortunately, there's not like a whole lot of English speaking streams on this early because I'm just like a weird person and I stream way out of my time zone. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the sheer number of people that got that preservation notice. Yes. Oh my gosh. And I keep hearing about more too. It's like, you got one too? You got one too? Oh, here we go. Somebody's sculpting. That sounds fun. Otterly Tiffin is the name of this channel. Interns, Xerox, copy paste. Yes. Oh, and some of the copy paste on it was like hilarious because it was like, you're included in this list. And it's like, but what's the list? You didn't even give us the list. Yeah. Like I said, there's still so much that I didn't even have time to cover it all. But if you have more to add, absolutely feel free to drop it in the comments on YouTube. And I will be in the comments. I think we're going to try and do a premiere at noon Central, and I will try and be in the chat on that. Although at this point, like, it's at the end of the video, so y'all don't know that anyway. Sorry, I just have like such weird energy this morning. It's more the audacity of the thing and the broad terms in which they just cast that particular net. Yeah, like, just like, because a lot of it was, they were just like copy pasting it into like the 2-line of the email or whatever, or hopefully blind, like, I'm hoping that they were blind CCing people so that like they're not like sharing everybody's email addresses and everything. But yeah. Porgnatius says, weird energy for the win. All right. Well, I'm glad you like it. I'm liking this. Like, there is some like weird energy, like, but like good energy on this stream. So I think that this is who we should go raid. I think I found the one. Like, it's really serious. Sorry, I'm just so weird. You know, it would be, they would be able to band together there if they shared each other's emails. I doubt it though, because they do seem like they're relative, like they're at least trying to like cross all their T's. Well, they missed some I's also and some T's, so. Okay. I think they didn't mass send them. They were individually addressed in the email text, I believe. Okay. The one I did see had the person's name on it, and it was like, dear person. So yeah. Yeah, I hope that they sent them all individually. Yep. Yeah, yeah, I saw that as well. Although I did think it was funny that she was like, "You should address this to your majesty." Which I was just like, I don't know. I have a hard time watching her. I think one of the reasons why I'm like so weirdly like anal about like my sound and stuff sometimes is from like watching her and like I don't know if it's like my if it's my autism or what, but like when she like eats and then she has her microphone on a stand as opposed to like having it on like an arm and then she's like constantly like tapping her desk so it does like that low level like it's like a bump, but it's like between a bump and a hum and it's just like oh, it hurts my ears. It hurts my ears. So she's probably like the main reason why I'm like so particular about like trying not to like bump on my desk and trying not to eat when I'm on camera. But yeah, I do have a hard time watching her. She does also very long streams as well, which like nothing against that, but it is hard to watch it for that long and listen to it because it's just like her streams are like the kind that would be very listenable if the audio was better. But yeah. Yeah, some people don't even notice it. Some people don't even notice it. So I don't want it to be like a, oh my God, it's terrible. Like it's just a thing for me that I'm like, I can't do it. That's also why you can't watch Chantal. Yeah, I can totally see that. Totally. I think I think it's just her bumping the mic all the time and stuff. Yeah. Or eating. But yeah. Again, it's just like one of my weird things. It's one of my weird things. I don't want to be like, yeah, what I do have a problem with her is her still continuing to work for a blatant rape apologist and like coming out and defending him. So, I mean, like that I have a problem with, but like your sound, do you, you know, that's not hurting anybody. Most of the reactors I watch edit out the eating. I did not think about it, but yes, I think that a lot of the reactors that I watch also edit that out, and that's why I'm okay with like watching the Chantal reactors. Also, I just like don't like Chantal's personality. It's just just so flippant about stuff where I'm just like I feel like I could never like actually be friends with her, and that's why I can't watch her. If that makes sense. Like if I knew Amber Lynn IRL, like we could be friends. Like she wouldn't be like my bestie. She wouldn't be like somebody that I like really rely on a lot, but like I could be friends with her. I have to call her out on her shit all the time, but like I can be friends with her. You know? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she does like she gets right up in the microphone too when she's eating. And she does like weird like sounds and stuff too. Like her weird voices that she does while she's eating are just like I could definitely be friends with Becky. I could definitely be friends with Becky. Yeah, like I could be mates with Amberlynn, but like I could be friends with Becky probably. Hunt some ghost. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, Pugnacious. Let's all three do it sometime. If we can get Becky roped in, I'm like down. All three of us. I know some cemeteries, or I can drive. It's all good. All right, guys. I really am going to get off of here and go do some stuff. Chantal drinking, dressing, and gravy. Gross. Gross. But yes, let's do a good old fashioned raid. How does that sound? You guys should go watch some sculpting. Stuff looks really super cute. But yes, I'm definitely down for some ghost hunting in the corn belt. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming over. Sparkle Power Raid. All right, guys. Now, this is your friendly reminder to keep your arms and legs inside of the carriage at all times while the raid is in motion. Why are we not raiding, though? There it goes. Failure to do so could result in not ending up on the raid. So you better hang on. Stay belted in. See you later, guys.